That's right.
Let's get into some scripture.
Numbers 29, verse 1. In the seventh month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you.
All right, so we got the seventh month and we got the first day of the month. So the number 7 and the number 1.
Leviticus 23, verse 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the seventh month, in the first day of the month, ye shall have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, an holy convocation.
So you see again, it's a Sabbath, which also represents the 7th-day Sabbath. And the 7th month, as we talk about this a lot, is the only month in the 12-month year that begins on the 7th-day Sabbath.
That's right. Verse 25. Ye
Yeah,
shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offer made by fire unto Jah.
Unto Jah. Yeah, a little bit there, carried away with that shofar. So again, notice in Leviticus 23, verse 24, that the first day of the 7th month is a Sabbath, and this Sabbath is the 7th day of the week. And I repeat, it's the only month. So what you see on your screen here is the 12 months of the year. And I mean, just going from 1 through to 12, you can see that the first month begins on the first day of the week, what we would call Sunday. The second month also begins on the first day of the week. The third month begins on the fourth day of the week. The fourth month, you can see here, begins on the 6th day of the week. The fifth month begins on the second day of the week. The 6th month begins on the 4th day of the week as well. And the 7th month begins on the 7th day of the week. And month 8 is on the 3rd day. Month 9 is on the 5th day. Month 10 is on the 1st day. Month 11 is on the 3rd day. And month 12 always begins on the 6th day of the week. So when we're talking about Jah's almanac and the way it's fixed and set, all of these days and dates that you see on the days of the week don't change at all. They stay and they remain there throughout all the years. Now, this is a sabbatical year, so there's going to be one extra week in Adar. But I want to remind the listeners about Jah's almanac. We don't begin, spring at the mid-spring equinox, March 21st, and we don't begin summer at the midsummer solstice. We don't begin autumn at the autumn equinox, nor do we begin winter at the winter solstice. These are the middle points of Jah seasons, just like you can see on the screen. They're not the beginning. And so most calendars and most people who follow the calendars of the world, all their calendars would be in error and are scripturally inaccurate because they use the spring equinoxes and all the solstices and all of that to begin their seasons. And that's not the true time to begin seasons. The year begins in February, and if you want to screenshot this, it'd be a good idea. You can take a look over it. And again, you can see where the arrow is flashing at the bottom, number 12. We have that extra week, which gives it 371 days as opposed to 364 days. And all the festivals are set and fixed, right? And you see where the green arrow is pointing to the first day of the 7th month. Again, it's the only month in Jah's almanac, as you can see, that begins on the 7th day. And it's like that forever, fixed, not wandering around, nor are any of the other festivals wandering.
It's a perfect calendar.
Yes. Now, as we look at the 6-month long summer season beginning from May, or the 4th month, we call it Judah. And again, right now we're beginning Ethanim, right underneath it, the 7th month, equivalent to August. This 6-month period, you have no rain in Israel. I mean, you might have some freak weather going on, but it's a time of no rain from May to the, at least even the midpoint or the last couple of weeks of October. And then the winter or the wet season is another 6 months. But again, here we are. We're in the 7th month, and I consider this calling it, we could say autumn, but autumn is not in the scripture, so people might say, hey, you're making up things, but we can call it the time of the ingathering season. It's also linked to seed time, and it's the last 3 months of the long summer season. So I call it latter summer, just how you have the early rains and the latter rains. I call the first 3 months of summer the early summer, and then the last 3 months latter summer, just to coincide with the scripture. Again, there's that first month, first day of the 7th month. Now here we are on this month for this year. So, starting at the top, it's Ethanim, the seventh month, 6223, equivalent to August 2023. Autumn begins. It's a holy month. It's the season of seed time. And also says the feast of the seventh month symbolized the Messiah's second coming. Trumpets announces his coming. Atonement, his arrival. Tabernacle symbolizes his earthly kingdom. And the eighth day, his judgment and the new heavens and new earth. And so we see here today again where we are, the Feast of Trumpets, August 5th, and all the holy days of this month are in the blue. So this is a reminder for those who are keeping the festivals and the fast. The Day of Atonement, as you can see, is on the 10th, beginning Sunday evening till Monday evening. And then we have Tabernacles beginning on the evening after the Sabbath, the first day of the week. And that lasts for 7 days. And then we get to the eighth day. So it's really an 8-day festival. And then the eighth day occurs on the 23rd. And the small numbers in the white are the Gregorian equivalents, just so that nobody gets confused. And this is a very, very special month.
Indeed.
So looking at the scriptural seasons and the mid-seasons for this year, 6223, right? This is Jah's true seasons and the false seasons. So again, spring, summer, autumn, and winter are beginning on the 5th of these months here, February, May, August, November. And February, May, August, November are always going to be the starting times for those seasons, but the date for the Gregorian date may change. But as far as Jah's scriptural almanac, all the numbers remain the same. So what you see here is at the top, true spring, with the arrows, true summer, true autumn, and true winter. And then the midpoints we have here, this is the spring equinox. And this is where the heathens and the heathenistic calendar, I should say, not just the heathens, but the heathenistic calendars begin their true seasons. I know many people don't know about these things, but these are the things in Zion that we wish to share with others and are very scripturally true, scientifically true, historically true, agriculturally true, and even true to the agriculture of the land of Israel or the land of Canaan.
That's right.
So Abib, again, this year was equivalent to February 5th. Then we have our March, our false spring, the equinox. Then we have the fourth month, May, called Judah, equivalent to May the 5th. And we have our false summer, the solstice. Then here we are, Ethanim, August the 5th, true autumn, Feast of Trumpets. Then September equinox is when the heathenistic calendar begins fall or autumn. November 5th is true winter. And of course, the midwinter solstice is always around 20th to 22nd of December, utilizing their Christmas Babylonian holidays. So now this is another chart. Again, I would suggest those screenshot it, or if you do want to download Jah's Almanac for this year, you can. I'll put in maybe the link in the description box after this lesson. So again, focusing on this time of year, going with this chart, we have the seasons, the true month order, Jah's month order. So the true month order means the numerical value, the names of the months, the Gregorian equivalent, and then the solar calendar, or the false lunisolar calendar that many people say is the Most High's calendar, but it's not. It's the Babylonian calendar. We have the month order and the names as well here. So let's fill in this chart. We see that spring, Jah's true spring season, covers months 1 to 3, Abib, Ziph, Sivan, February till April. The equinox is the middle point of Jah's seasons. And you can see the false month order of the lunisolar calendar. They say, of course, the spring equinox is the beginning of the true seasons, but it's not. It's even equivalent to the pagan Sumerian and Babylonian god Nisan, which is another sun god, and also dealing with the sun, moon, and stars, Baal worship. And we have early summer, as I spoke about. We have the solstice being the midpoint, and that is going to be the 4th month of the false calendar, but it's really Jah's 5th month. And Tammuz is another pagan god attached to the summer solstice. And then latter summer, or autumn. And here we are in Ethanim that way. And we see it pointing, it's equivalent to August, but the Babylonians calendar, it's the 6th month. And of course, in September, they deal with the equinox. So they're going to have their false tabernacles and everything. And believe it or not, it's to another false god, Tishri. And these are not the true names of the Most High's months. They're actually pagan Babylonian names for gods. And again, winter beginning in November, the solstice also that way being a part of the mid-season aspect. So here with this chart again as well, you get an understanding of, you know, how the months may work and the understandings. And of course, it's different from the lunisolar calendar that many people are used to. Shabbat Shalom again to all coming in. Family, one love. Let's continue. So again, the harvest season, which is the wheat harvest from February to April ends. April showers bring May flowers. Then you have May to July is early summer. Seed time is also autumn or latter summer from August to October. And then again, winter from November to the end of January, February again being the beginning, true beginning of the scriptural year in the land of Israel and according to your holy Bible and not anything astronomical. Again, this is a minor sabbatical year. So just getting a description of the months in a different chart form. Again, a baby's equivalent to February. And as we go through, this is the spring season. And then we go through again from May to July, or from Judah to Elul. Ethanim to Kislev for autumn or seed time or latter summer. And then we have the rest of the months for winter. And you can see Adar at the bottom flashing there as 37 days. In a common year, it's 30 days. And now common year is 364 days long, as I said before. And the sabbatical years, the minor sabbatical year, is 371 days. Let me just, you know what? Let me just give a sound of the shofar. Why not?
Yes.
It's that time. Praise Jah.
Yeah. Nice, Brother Sean.
Let's continue. Praise Jah and Jehoshua. All right, where were we? Okay. So what you see here is the Day of Trumpets and all of the dates in this year's 20-year cycle, along with the Day of Atonement. But we'll deal with the Day of Trumpets first. And this is just for the first 14 years. I'm not covering the full everything on this page, but you can see where we are right now. We are the 7th calendar, Ethanim, August 5th, year 6223 or 2023 AD. And now you have all the dates, the Gregorian dates of when the Feast of Trumpets will begin on. Next year, it's on August 10th, and you can see as we go through the dates of the Gregorian calendar change, but Jah's almanac remains the same. And then the Day of Atonement, which is occurring next week, Sunday evening, the second day of the week. You can see for this year, we're in calendar 7 again. That'll be equivalent to August 14th. And again, here you have, for the first half of the 28-year cycle, all your days and dates for these two festivals. And this is how Jah's almanac is perfect. You know, we can tell you when the dates are for every festival for the rest of time. We can tell you where they were from the beginning of, creation year 1, because everything operates in cycles. So how does the Most High view this issue? Because you know what? I just want to talk a little bit quickly about the issues of names, because every time I kind of do a lesson, others want to know why I use the name Jah. even though it's in the King James Bible. But because many people have heard kind of this, I guess, this sort of understanding that there was no J sound in the ancient Hebrew, and there's no J sound in the Greek and the Latin. And that latter part is true, the Greek and the Latin. But the ancient Hebrew did have a J sound. Hebrew is a black language, and it was dealing with the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, the Hamites. It's a mixed and mingled type of language. And even though people, have to do that study on their own, again, we know that the J sound is there. But we still use Yah, Yehoshua, and we understand all the names, Jesus the Christ, and we don't kind of discriminate against any name, because people have come to their own understanding of the name. But however, we discriminate against false doctrine. So if somebody, I know there's black Hebrew Israelites out there, or Israelites, let's call them, that use the name Jesus the Christ, and others wouldn't like that. They would say Yahawashai, Yahusha, Yahshua, or even Yeshua. But however, we know who they're referring to. But now in the world, you have Jesus the Christ that might be referring to like the ideology of the European kind of Greek God, but we don't deal with that either. But this is a verse I want to show you. And I mean, even if we did have the name a little bit wrong or whatever, but our mind and hearts were focused on Jah, he does know, our hearts. So let's read this verse here.
Psalms 44, verse 20. If we have forgotten the name of our El, or stretched out our hands to a strange God, shall not Jah search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart.
So I really like this verse, just to remind ourselves, that people want to get caught up, in this, if I'm saying Jah, that means, oh, he must be talking some falsehood or something like that. Because no, and remember, even though the Israelites back in the day, they knew the true language, the true name, they were very wicked in their obedience. So don't get too caught up on names. And I'm not trying to say forget about the name. I believe the name is very important, and we teach that. But again, it's good just to have this understanding. And this is why, we make this chart. And we put this chart out almost every time before I begin a lesson. It deals with this aspect here of the Most High's name. So again, if you want to know the Most High's name, make sure that you keep his commandments and the faith in his Son, and then truly, very truly, you will know indeed the Most High's name. So, why are we, the Mount Zion Assembly of Jah and Jehoshua, celebrating the Feast of Trumpets at this time of year when the majority of mankind is busy going about its day-to-day business, oblivious of this high holy Sabbath, and many people will keep this next month in September? But why are we doing this? And the reason why we're doing this is because it's according to Scripture and the true time frames. Here's a scripture for us, again, showing us why we do these things.
Psalms 81, verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new month, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day.
So this 7th month is a new month. It's also a time appointed, and it's also a feast day all in one. And that's what's very beautiful about the 7th month, this holy month. So we have trumpet shadows, right? And these shadows are showing things of the future. Under the first covenant with the nation of Israel, the festival of trumpets and the rituals requiring the blowing of trumpets on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis were an integral part of Israel's relationship with the Most High Jah. And today, under the new covenant, the understanding of the prophetic messages of the festival of trumpet is very important to the children of Jah, because these messages look forward to a time when the children of Yah and the whole world will be involved in the final stages of Jah's plan for the salvation of humanity. It's coming to these times where these festivals are going to bring forth much, much meaning in this prophetic understanding.